In this video, I would like to show how to disprove evolution in less than 3 minutes. So let's get started. Point number 1. What is the main basis of evolution? i.e., what is the main pillar on which evolution theory is built upon? Now the answer is that the basis of evolution, that genes are transferred from one generation to another. These produce an organism's inherited traits. In other words, that genes and DNA, they store the design characteristics of a creature, like its shape. It passes on from one generation to another. So if changes occur in a certain generation, the genes and the DNA, they are responsible for passing this information to another generation. Point number 2. Let's see whether this is correct or false. Because if the foundation of evolution is proven to be false, then there is no theory of evolution. Like a house cannot stand without its foundation. So as you can see on the screen, let's start from left to right. On the left we have the cell, which is the workspace of genes and DNA, meaning that genes and DNA, they can only work within the cell. And when the DNA is read, proteins are produced and they're excreted outside of the cell. Let's take the collagen protein as an example. So as you can see in the middle, we have millions and millions of collagen proteins outside of the cell. And they are no longer under the control of the genes and DNA. So the big question, how do these millions and millions of proteins know to arrange themselves in the perfect order of the human hand, as you can see on the right? The answer is that this is not under the control of genes and DNA, the shaping of the collagen molecules in the shape of the human hand. Because as I said, genes and DNA, they can only work within the cell. So the main conclusion from here is that genes and DNA, they do not contain the shape or formation of a creature, and thus they cannot pass on this information one generation to another. And so if changes occur in one generation, DNA and genes cannot pass on this information. So this shows that the basis of evolution is wrong, and thus there is no theory of evolution. And may the peace and blessings of Allah, God Almighty, be upon you all.